Hey everybody, we have an impressive show today. I start off every show this way because jumping rope is such a fantastic exercise for a cardiovascular workout. It's a great way to burn calories and lose weight. And it's part of my 5BX exercise training program I teach. And it's a full body workout that engages multiple muscle groups, including our legs, our core, and our arms to build strength and improve coordination, which is really important as we get older. Get ready for the show. My name is Andy.
Hi, and my name is Yanira. As Andy, we're going to talk about sleep and how important it is for your health, for your energy levels, and so much more.
This is Buffalo Bills wide receiver Khalil Shakir. He sensed his mind worrying to a degree that affected his sleep. Shakir sought a way to improve his mental health, and he still doesn't know where the impulse came from. He decided he would write out those crushing thoughts before he climbed into bed at night. That was what he did to help his sleeping problems. Now, I also wanted to tell you about something from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger just turned 77, and he has out now a newsletter that he sends out every single week. So that's something that he's up to, and good for Arnold. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is Peter Attia. Now, he has earned a reputation akin to a modern day messiah in the field of longevity and health span. He talks a lot about the importance of sleep and what causes people's problems.
Very difficult to have a good night's sleep if you have alcohol in the proximity of bedtime, or even if you have 2 or 3 drinks several hours removed from bedtime. It still will linger. And that'll manifest itself in a number of ways, but probably most notably is kind of a reduction in the quality of sleep. So you'll trade more deep sleep and REM sleep for light sleep. And then the other thing you'll see is much more frequent wake-ups.
Now, his prestigious background includes a medical degree from Stanford University, where he honed his skills and developed a deep understanding of the human body and all its complexities.
I love what he says about sleep. I mean, he mentioned in the video, alcohol and how that interrupts your sleep. And I love that we're talking about it because sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And we're going to dive deep into this subject or this topic in this episode.
He explained how important sleep is. We can go without food maybe for a month, water days, breathing moments. But the point of sleep is, after a couple of days without any sleep, you really pretty much can't function anymore.
He talked about the different stages of sleep, the light sleep, the REM sleep, and they're all important, but you need those. And when you don't do the necessary, when you drink coffee, when you drink alcohol, your sleep is not going to be quality sleep. So this is why it's so important, and I love the topic today.
Well, it's time again where we dive into the awesome questions and the comments on our viewer mail section. Today, we've got some fantastic messages to go through. So let us get started with that right now. And let me get my glasses. I do this every single time.
I know you always say, let me get the glasses. Get the glasses.
It's always an afterthought. Okay. This was a question from Bun Makeda Chi, if that's the right pronunciation. And he says, hey, y'all, I'm 32, a beginner at CrossFit, been about 5 months, never had a sports or fitness background. When I push my limits a little bit, I feel really tired all day and have a hard time falling asleep. Did anyone ever have that experience? Well, he got some answers, some helpful answers out there, and that's what's so good about us. What we can do in social media and some of the online services. You can find answers to just about everything. Anyway, somebody by the name of Strawberry, that's her name, Strawberry, says that seems pretty unusual. You should talk to your doctor probably scale back on your workouts. Make sure you're physically able to do them, but check with the doctor first. That sounds about right to you, right?
I think so, because remember, and I think Strawberry, she's right about scaling down. I mean, if this is something new for him and he just started this, remember that when we exercise and we push ourselves, we are also stressing our bodies. So we're producing cortisol. So when we have the cortisol too high, and everybody's different, right? We need to understand that, like, something that may work for you may not work for me. So maybe his cortisol is too high, and when it is too high, it's not easy to fall asleep. So
wow, that's very interesting. Yeah. Well, this is another one, the same answer to this person, who can't fall asleep. He started CrossFit. He was doing a CrossFit program, and this other person named Shizmiz, something like that, says, I recommend checking out your electrolytes. If you're eating whole foods, you're probably deficient. Make sure you're getting enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium. I'm short on those. I can't sleep well. That's what this person said. That's a whole nother world when you start getting into all of that, the electrolytes, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. But it's probably well worth saying.
yeah, and for sure, the body is adjusting. So we need to give time to the body to adjust to something that is really new. It's like, I don't know, like when you take probiotics, you have to know that maybe they're going to give you gas, or maybe you're going to be bloated. So you need to understand your body, but definitely something is going on. So I would say, just like Strawberry, scale down. And we're going to talk about everything that there is to know about sleep today. And this person talked about magnesium as well, which is really important for sleep, but we're going to dive into it later.
Well, one last one here, kind of similar responses to some of the others from Stuart 52. They did it in a kind of a numerical fashion. So Stuart 52 said, talk to the doctor. Asks the question, do you consume afternoon caffeine? Good question. And then lastly, 3, are you eating enough food to recover? You are probably leveraging your hormones, trying to adapt to CrossFit. You will be surprised how much healthy food you should consume a day. Good point.
They're all great points.
Trouble sleeping is a very common problem. I hear from my friends about insomnia. I've heard around 1/3 of adults actually experience some level of difficulty falling or staying asleep. And that's what you're going to talk about today. I'm excited to learn.
Yes. So sleep, let's dive into it. Sleep impacts various areas in your life, right? Such as your energy levels, your emotional balance, your physical health. I mean, you're setting the stage for deeper exploration on this episode. So let's understand what sleep does, right? There are different stages, and we mentioned when we were when we saw the video from Atia, right? So understanding that there are different stages on sleep. So we have different sleep cycles. We have the light cycles, which is stage 1 and 2, and then we have the stage 3, which is the deep sleep. And each of them are very crucial for your health, for your physical health, for tissue repair and growth. So it's everything. I think there are 3 different main points when you sleep. So one is that your body synthesizes proteins. Proteins are very essential for our health, and as we age, sometimes we need more protein and more high quality proteins to build, a protein. When it breaks down in your body, it becomes amino acids, and then they get together with other amino acids to help you repair and grow. So that's going on when you sleep. And the other thing is that it's essential for memory consolidation. And this is so important, Andy, as we age as well, because sometimes we tend to lose a little bit of memory. But if we sleep well, we're going to help the brain to, that consolidation of the memory. And also, another thing that happens when we sleep is that hormonal balance is going on while you sleep, and you release toxins while you sleep. So it is very important how much sleep that we have. So one of the things, every time that I talked about sleep, and when people ask me, they talk about how many hours, and it should be between 7 and 9 hours. Remember that it is different for every individual, but it is so important that you sleep between 7 and 9 hours. So things about, that can influence the amount of hours, it could be stress, the lifestyle that you have, but you need to pay attention to that and prioritize sleep. And I do remember this phrase that I read in Arianna Huffington book called Thrive. She talks at some point, she talks about wellness in the book, and she talks about Bill Clinton, our ex-president of the United States. And he had a phrase that he used a lot when he was president, and he said that after he was when he was president, he didn't sleep that much, and he didn't care, and he would tell people, I just need 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And then after he started working on his health after he was president, he said something like this: every mistake that I've made because I was tired, or something like that. And I thought that was so interesting, because when you really put attention in your sleep, there's so many benefits, right, Andy?
Oh yeah, I thought about what you just said about the decisions, any decision or bad decision or wrong decision that maybe President Clinton made was when he, due to lack of sleep. And I can certainly relate to that. You need to be sharp. And, some days you can get by without a lot of sleep, but when, important issues are coming along and you've got to make important decisions, yeah, you darn well need to have a good night's sleep.
Definitely. I mean, really, I'm going to ask you that you're watching, right? How do you feel when you don't sleep? When you have insomnia? I feel cranky. I can't focus on work. It's I don't feel like doing anything. So that's what happens when you don't sleep. So what are the benefits of really good quality and the quantity of sleep? I'm going to start with physical health, right? For example, cardiovascular health. There are many studies that show that people who do not get enough sleep, they have higher risk of heart disease. And as we age, and if we're women, I think the first cause of death in women, in older women, is cardiovascular diseases. So we want to try to sleep well, because when we have a good night's sleep and we sleep enough, we're going to help maintain our heart healthy, because we're going to lower blood pressure and we're going to reduce inflammation. Something else that is really important is your immune system. Remember that your immune system is like the military, right? They're there. Every time they see pathogens or viruses, it's they're always fighting for your body to be okay. So during sleep, the infection fighting, these military people here, antibodies and cells are produced, right? So you have more to defend when you wake up in the morning. So that's really important. And I think one of the other benefits around physical health when you sleep, remember that I talked about hormonal production and balance and all that. So when you sleep, insulin and glucose, they manage, right? They goes down, the glucose goes down. That means the pancreas is not going to be producing insulin, and that's going to reduce the risk of obesity and diabetes. There has been studies that show that when you don't sleep right, there are two hormones related to satiety and hunger. So when you don't sleep okay, those hormones are not going to be balanced and they're not going to be working the way they should. So you might be getting hungrier, right? For example, sometimes if I'm going to bed later at night, like at 12 o'clock because I'm working, I'm hungry at 10 o'clock. And sometimes what do? I eat. And what happens when I eat? I gain weight. So we don't want that. All right. So the other benefits, it's in your mental health, like mental and emotional. One of the things is that the emotional stability, like every time, if I don't sleep enough, as I mentioned before, usually we're cranky. We don't have focus. We don't know, like if we're cranky, if something happened to us, let's say I spill some wine on the carpet, maybe I'm gonna be, I don't know, like rage, and I'm gonna be angry and all that. So when we sleep better, we're managing stress better, and the recovery from emotional challenges, just like spilling a glass of wine in your carpet, right? And good sleep, as I mentioned before, it prevents the overproduction of stress hormones like the cortisol. Then you have the cognitive benefits, right? Sleep is going to help you to enhance creativity, decision making. I mean, your brain is going to be better, right? And you're going to make better decisions and all that. And I think also longevity, we talked about it, and I love every time we talk about longevity because I think it's a very interesting subject. When we sleep, we also produce anti-aging hormones, right? Our body regulates sugar, inflammation, and all that, and it's gonna be better for us. I mean, we're gonna, as I mentioned in the beginning, we're gonna lower the risk of cardiovascular disease. So that means that we might live longer, right? So to summarize this part, short term, if you don't sleep in quantity and in quality, because both are important, 7 to 9 hours, and that you have all the stages, but not just light sleep, but like very deep sleep. Short term, like we talked about, we might be more stressful, we might lose memory more, we might be exaggerating every time something happens because we don't have the focus to actually make the right decisions. It's going to affect our productivity, our mood, everything. And long term, the chronic health issues like, cardiovascular diseases, obesity, diabetes, mental health disorders, we want to avoid that. And this is why Andy and I, we're going to talk about, tips for better sleep. And one of the things, and I would love to know what's your routine. One of the things that every time you talk to people about sleep, and Mark Hyman, Mark Hyman, he's huge.
I know you're a big fan of his, and I want to read more of what he has, but I've heard a lot about him.
Right. He has this book that is called Forever Young, I think. But I did a course with him a program with him some time ago about sleep. And one of the things that he mentions is the biological clock synchronization. So I'm talking about? I'm talking about the circadian rhythms, right? What does that mean? That you go to sleep when it's dark at night and you wake up when it's light, and you maintain that, right, during every single day. And it doesn't matter if it's the weekend or or anything. You have a natural clock inside. So everybody's different, remember bio-individuality. But if you can go to sleep, say by 10 o'clock and wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, it's 8 hours. You start, I don't know if you, like, if you have, I'm sure you have felt this, but at 8 o'clock you start yawning, and that's the melatonin in your body, which is a chemical in your body that tells you, hey, I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And sometimes, and I'm going to talk about myself, sometimes I'm yawning at 8 o'clock, but I don't go to sleep until 12. I should be sleeping at 9:30 or at 10, right? And for quality sleep, it's not the same if I go to sleep from 12 to 8. I'm sleeping the same 8 hours, but studies have shown that when you sleep early in the night, you're going to have a deep, the stages of sleep, you're going to have a deep one better if you go to sleep around 10 o'clock. So what's your bedtime, Andy?
Ideally, if I can be in bed and asleep by about 10:30, I'm perfect. And
something that is important as well is that you create a sleep-friendly environment. So this is how I have changed. Like I love, and I still love, light. I used to love to sleep with, windows open, no curtains and everything. But when I started researching about sleep, I decided to do the blackouts. So that's one of the things that I do. The other thing, everything that they said about sleep, the temperature in your room needs to be lower than the temperature of your body. All right. So it should be maybe around 67 degrees. It depends. Everybody's different, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's something that you could do. I also bought the pillows that are kind of cooler, I think I needed more the cold, but that's something good. Try to eliminate noise. Maybe for some people it could be good to have like white noise. I have meditation music every night, so that helps. I have no problem falling asleep, so that's good. Something that I've been doing, and look, I brought them. So looking at Dave Asprey, he's huge at biohacking. He talks about this. So I saw him and I bought these glasses. So what do? These glasses help the body produce melatonin because it blocks the blue light from the computer, the TV, and all that. So 3 hours or 2 hours before I go to bed, I use them all the time until I'm going to go to sleep. And believe me, this is one of the best buy that I have done. And I know that some people might be asking, oh, but I wear glasses. No matter. If I'm in the computer, I do this. That's it.
Oh. Okay.
And they have worked really well. And we can put a link on the episode so you know the kind of glasses that I'm talking about. Okay, so the temperature, blackouts, the glasses, and then everybody says that not a lot of people do it. Do not engage with TV, tablet, cell phone at least an hour before you go to sleep. So those are the things that I think would be great about the environment, how to create an environment that works for you so you have a better quality sleep. So I think to, recap today, we talked about, the stages of sleep. They're all important. We talk about the benefits of sleep in your mental health, your emotional well-being, your physical health, how your immune system works better, how memory consolidation works at night, stress goes down, insulin works better, ghrelin and leptin, the satiety and hunger, they work better as well. You avoid diabetes, obesity. I mean, there's so many benefits of that. And we did talk about some of the strategies that we recommend. Change your environment, cold environment, dark. Avoid the use of electronics at least 1 hour before. Don't eat too much before you go to bed. All those things are going to be very important for quantity and quality sleep. And nothing. Finally, if you have any questions, we are here to answer. And that's what we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Aging Strong. We hope you find the insights and stories shared today both inspiring and empowering as you continue your journey toward a vibrant and fulfilling life.
And remember, aging is not just about growing older, but growing stronger and wiser each day. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family who might benefit from our content.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you get all the updates. We appreciate your support and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Until then, keep aging strong.
So long. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Aging Strong, and hope you will subscribe. Remember, aging is not just about growing older, but growing stronger and wiser with each passing day. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family who might benefit from our content. When you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Until then, keep aging strong.